ever loaded into the sim, qualified on pole with literally a whole second gap to the car behind you just to spin before you even hit the start line? Yeah, I didn't think so, but I did. And in this video, we're going to try going from spinning before turn 1 to finishing the race in the lead. Before we get into the video, if you're new here, think about subscribing to the channel, leave a like and comment your thoughts below. Let's get it. So I suppose we should start the video by rewatching the start, and I'll be so honest, I've watched this back so many times and it's just so painful. I just let up the rears coming off, and me being me, I was dumb, I was in first gear, but we spun, and luckily, like very luckily, this angle doesn't show it, but it's so lucky I didn't get taken out again because the rejoin was terrible. And even that spin, that second spin after I spun the first time proved so vital, and you're gonna see why as the video goes on. So this is still lap 1, coming down the Mulsanne. As you can see, the blue car that's ahead of me just locked his front tires and ended up just running off into the gravel. So this was us up 1 position already, which to me, I will take it as far as I'm concerned, because we got a whole field to try and get through to try and win this race. Coming to the end of lap 1, you can see we closed the gap right up onto the back of that caddy. And I'll be honest, I took so much time out of him in this lap that I just knew I needed to just keep pushing and keep pushing. It didn't matter who was in front of me. I knew the whole grid I was faster than everybody. So I just knew I just needed to keep my head down and just set some consistent lap times and just try and overtake as many cars as I could. Coming down the Mulsanne again now on lap 2, you can see we've closed the gap right up behind him. And here, coming into Mulsanne corner, I didn't think I was close enough, so I kind of just waited behind, but I think the pressure alone forced him wide. You can see he ran a little bit wide on that curb on the exit, which just gave me the run alongside him to get the move done. To be fair to him, and to be fair to a lot of the drivers in this race, they did not really put up a fight. I'm not going to say they let me pass, but they didn't really put up much of a fight, which was really helpful to me at the time. Moving on to lap 4 here, you can see as we're coming down into Indy, we've closed the gap a lot on the 2 cars in front of me. See, coming into Indy, we wasn't really close enough to do anything yet, but I was really starting to think about lining up the move. You see, as on exit, we ran a little bit wide, which didn't lose me too much time, but obviously it's not ideal. But as you can see, as we come off Arnage, there's just a car sitting in the middle of the track, and I'll be so honest, I kind of felt a little bit bad for the cars in front of me because it gave me a huge run on this Porsche in front of me and the one in front. So yeah, you see we're along the inside, coming down into the Porsche curves now. It's all about just getting the braking done earlier. You can see we actually do get the move done, but I was carrying way too much speed into him. You see, I had to tap the brakes just coming through, and I'm so grateful for that car behind me that he also tapped his brakes, because had he not, yeah, he probably would have killed me. But that's us up into P9. As we got down to the S's, you can see the car in front just went a little bit wide on the first part of the chicane, which maybe gained a lot, but I also think it maybe gained maybe a little bit too much, because it kind of messed up the slipstream, as you're going to see coming down the straight here. Coming down the straight, you can see we've got a run. Now we're still getting the toe here, but it's like we didn't get enough of a toe. So now when I've pulled out here, you can see me, I'm trying to get as close as I can, just try and get that side draft, but there was nothing for me. So I had to tuck back in again, get a little bit more speed, and then pull out just before the braking zone. Just brake a little bit later. In the end, we actually managed to hold it around the outside. To be fair to him, he left me a lot of room, and I always like to see stuff like that. It's always nice to see some nice driving here. But you can see coming down the next straight after the chicane, because the exit was altered, because we was kind of both still side by side going into the chicane. You can see it gave him a run on me. So here I just said, you know, there's no point me defending, because I already know I can outbrake him. But to be nice to this guy behind me, he actually lifted, which is why you see the white push behind. He got through. The car behind me lifted. He didn't go for the move. So I have a feeling he was probably here just for the safety rating. And I can't blame him. It's hard out here, you know. It's hard. So this is on the same lap here. Coming to the end of lap 5 now. Coming into the Porsche curves. You can see already opened up a gap on those cars behind me already. But you can see also in front, closing up massively on this BMW. And it looks like had we actually been able to get to the end of the lap, we probably would have had a chance on the next lap. But considering this is lap 5, you can see on the onboard here, you can see the fuel light is on. Now, I think I actually had like 0.1 over, but I didn't really want to save. I just wanted to push in this race. So I said, you know what, we'll box this lap. We'll box this lap and then see what we can do on the exit. So this is just after we filled up. You can see the lead is there, second is there, third gets let away. We are the car sitting at the front. That's fourth. I think we have about 2 seconds to go. Yeah, we get released, and luckily we got released just in front of this car. I don't know if you can see from that angle, and I wasn't sure on board at the time, but I don't know if he was inside me when we left the pit lane. So I kind of panicked when we came out because I wasn't sure if he was inside me. But we made up 2 positions in the pit stop there, purely just for the fact of because of the split we was in. The race was going 1 less lap, so I kind of underfueled, but I don't think everybody else underfueled the same way I did, which played into my benefit. Moving on now, as you can see, we're going back onto the Motown straight. This is actually lap 7 now. As you can just see just ahead, the cars behind, the cars ahead of me. You can see we're slowly starting to catch traffic. You can see how big the gap was just after 1 lap of me to the BMW and the Porsche behind me. But yeah, we was catching the traffic, which I'm going to be honest, I was so happy to see. One thing about traffic, and the thing that I think I like about it, is it can really help your races, especially if you know how to maneuver them in a quick but efficient way and without taking anyone out, obviously. This was actually on the same lap. You can see now coming into the Porsche curves, he got through on the inside of this Mercedes. We actually went around the outside. Didn't really lose us much time, but you can see the second half of this, we've got a Merc just sitting in the middle of the road. There's not much the Merc can do. We both try and go around the outside here, but you see, look, there's this car sitting there. That cool in car. I think I got a contact for that. I'm not actually sure, but it was so close. It was so close. And that right there could have just been raced over. But the only good thing about that is that means we're up another position. So we're now actually up into P4, and this is now us fighting for a podium position. On to lap 8 here. This is literally just a few corners from the last clip. You can see as we come into the S, you see ran a little bit wide, which just gave me a little bit of a run, and we was really close as we entered Tete Rouge here. Had to just make sure, kept it on the track, no off tracks, no slowdowns, which we managed to do. But you can see we got a beautiful run here. Now the car in front, the Aston Martin, was actually giving him a tow, which was only subtle for him. But you see, he went one way, I went the other, and I'll be real, that was probably the thing that helped me get this move done, because that now means I'm on the inside as we come down into the first chicane, and I was actually able to get the move done here, which now has put us up into third, which means we've only got 2 cars left until we come to see if we can complete this challenge. Coming into Indy here, you see this is still the same lap. You can see we've opened up the gap a little bit, just over half a second to the car behind, just so that he wasn't really much of a problem. But from here, my main focus became the car in front, because I knew I only had 1 more lap left after this. And I knew the only way I was getting past this car in front of me was if I needed to be close. And at this stage, I wasn't even within a second. So my main focus for the end of this lap was to just try and get within that 1 second territory, so I had a small chance of actually making a move. So coming to the end of the lap here, you can see through the Porsche curves, we closed up a lot. Now we was definitely within that 1 second range. But coming on to the last lap here, I knew like, just get as close as you can. And I'll be honest, I didn't have the best start to this lap. Made a few mistakes, I'm not gonna lie, but I just kept the hope that I'd be able to do something at some point. Look, you can see here I just locked up a little bit, which off-centered me for the second part of the chicane. You can see the Porsche behind me was right on my ass here, but luckily we stayed in front. You see the gap here now was back to over a second. So I can't lie, I actually started to panic just a little bit here. But as you can see, coming off the S's here, the car behind me just got too much on the curb, just touched the grass a little bit, and it sent it round and it hit me to the barrel, which is, it's unfortunate. As much as he's a competitor to me, it's unfortunate. It was on the last lap too. Luckily for him, he managed to recover it and actually did finish the race in P4, which is good. But moving back to the race here on the final lap for second position here, you can see as we come into Mulsanne corner, we wasn't close enough to even make a move here. We did really well in the 2 chicanes to get to this point anyway. But I knew coming down, as we come off of Mulsanne corner and going down towards Indy corner, I knew I just wasn't close enough at all. So here I was just thinking, like, we just got to try to force a mistake. We just got to try and keep him on his toes. But coming down into Indy here, you see he was covering in the inside, which turns to the outside for the corner, but we pulled out anyway back onto the racing line. But you see, as we come in, he hits the brake a lot earlier than us. We just sneaked to the inside line, and there was actually contact there. He locked up after that, but there was just a little bit of contact, as we'll see on the onboard right here. You see, just as we get around the corner, he braked just a little bit earlier than I did and a little bit harder than I did. Just tapped the front of my car on the rear of his. But we did manage to get the move done here. Now, this was the move for second position. Somehow, don't ask me how, but there was no damage as well. I don't know how. I don't know how. But moving to the last few corners of this race here, and unfortunately, we didn't manage to get the win done. We was about 5 seconds behind the lead. You can see him there in the yellow Porsche there. We didn't actually manage to get it done, but overall, it was an amazing race. And I'll be honest, it's one I can definitely say I enjoyed, even though the start of the race, I was fired up. But it's definitely one I can say I've enjoyed. If you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say a huge thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. As always, subscribe if you're new here, leave a like if you enjoyed, drop a comment down below of something you think that I could have improved on. Thanks for watching. JP out.